killed by the Sentinelese tribe.
People with their bows and arrows.
To North Sentinel Island.
Is no more, and he was killed with an arrow by
the first glimpse of the Sentinelese.
Contact with the tribe is illegal, even after the 2004
Maurice Vidal Portman, a young Royal Navy officer in 1880, fancying him to be an anthropologist, landed on the North Sentinel Island. He caught a family of elderly couple and their 4 children who couldn't flee. For the sake of studying them, he took them to Port Blair with him. The poor Sentinelese family fell severely ill on their journey. Naturally, their body was exposed to a whole lot of unknown pathogens. As a result, the couple drew their last breath. Thereafter, Portman was scared of killing the innocent Sentinelese kids too and arranged for their return back to the island with lots of gifts. The sick kids were left on the shore of the North Sentinel Island. Now, these kids were exposed to a whole lot of new diseases too, which could infect anyone on the island who they came in contact with. Now, no one knows what became of the kids and what effect it had on their neighbors. Wouldn't the incident bring a feeling of resentment among the islanders? This is one of the many stories about how they had been treated time and again and why Sentinelese living in North Sentinel Island are not quite the friendliest of tribes. Today we will know about these so-called cannibals, barbaric, ruthless killers and why they are banned by the Indian government. Let us now dig some facts from the warehouse of Fact-Ory. North Sentinel Island, the home to Sentinelese. Well, we call them so. Some of us even mark them as cannibals. But are they? Let's go back in time. These islanders have been around for some 60,000 years without any help from the overworld using innovations and artificial intelligence. They are the first tribes that had originated in Africa and later migrated here. They still live in the Stone Age era. Their DNA are the most primitive ones owned by hunter-gatherers. These genes are prone to the rituals of warfare, killings, headhunting, suicides that they had been following since ages to protect, survive and grow. So, this explains their hostile behavior towards any human being from the outside world that might threaten their existence. Aiming weapons of bows and arrows and spears at anyone who tried making even a friendly contact are a part of their survival instinct because we are the ones always trying to enter their territory, disrupting their normal peaceful lives. That's what John Allen Chau, a 26-year-old American, did in 2018.
This was a journey American missionary John Chau was warned against taking.
It is illegal to go within 5 nautical miles of this island because they're also very vulnerable to disease because they're
dying at the hands of natives who were armed with bows and arrows.
The young boy, driven by his faith, paid a hefty price for illegally entering the territory of Sentinelese with his life. He believed the island was the Satan's last stronghold. He was indecisive at the beginning whether to enter the island, but somehow his ill fate attracted him towards his end. The Sentinelese, not knowing John's intention, killed him mercilessly, feeling threatened by him. The injudicious decision to go forth for spreading the name of Jesus to the island of North Sentinel was greatly criticized all over the world. Well, were they banned because of their hostile nature towards us? So, are they the cannibals we had heard in our stories? The facts and journals don't say so. A boat carrying 2 drunk fishermen floated adrift and landed on North Sentinel Island. As usual, the hunter-gatherers felt threatened and enraged by the presence of 2 unknown men. They not only killed them but hung their bodies on 2 poles. The bodies were later on buried as confirmed by the officials who tried to bring back the remains of the unfortunate Indian fishermen. They have never eaten their human kills ever. They might be barbaric due to their primitive survival instincts, but they were never cannibals. So, the question still lingers on. Why are they banned? For that, we have to journey back to 1967. But before moving on, if you like this story so far, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel. It will encourage us more to create such videos. Thank you. Now, let's jump back to the story again. After the British left India in 1947, the Indian government claimed the island of North Sentinel in 1970. A young anthropologist, Mr. Triloknath Pandit, decided to visit the alleged island of the Sentinelese in 1967 under the patronage of Indian government. They started off presenting gifts like live pigs, dolls, metal cookwares and bags of coconuts. The gifts were left ashore and the men hastily retreated to their boats to avoid being attacked. The Sentinelese came out from their hiding and killed the pig and buried it along with the plastic doll in sand. Though the islanders didn't put up a very friendly demeanor, yet accepted the coconuts and the metal cookwares readily. Maybe because it was new to them and that particular fruit was not to be found on their island. The visit with gifts of coconuts went on sporadically until 1981. The team decided to visit the island often, like once or twice in 2 months, and it was evident with their behavior that Sentinelese had kind of warmed up to the team of Santa with coconuts. But still they remained uncontacted. Anyone who tried to break into their boundary without being invited by them had to face inappropriate gestures and aimed weapons, up until 1991 when a female researcher joined the team. Now the story gets more interesting and takes an unusual bend. Miss Madhumala Chattopadhyay, a young fellowship researcher under Anthropological Survey of India, waited her lifetime to meet the tribes of Andamans. She was the first and only human being who ventured into breaking the ice wall between our world and the world of the Sentinelese. On her trip near the shore of North Sentinel Island, that very day she heard a phrase, Nariyali Jabba Jabba, from an islander, a dialect usually spoken by the Onge tribe on whom she had been researching previously. That meant more and more coconuts. This time a young man waded towards the boat and touched it. Following suit, other tribesmen came closer to the boat, sensing no harm from the outsiders. Everyone was stunned. A boy standing ashore had already taken an aim at Madhumala. Unperturbed by the fear of death, Madhumala didn't lose eye contact with the boy. She summoned the boy using hand gestures to collect coconut from her. When it was time to shoot the arrow, a woman nearby pushed the boy, deflecting the arrow into water, thus saving the life of a fearless woman anthropologist whose name has been etched in history for making the first human contact with the Sentinelese. After the incident, the team members, along with Madhumala, all jumped into the water, handing out coconuts directly in the hands of the tribe. A history was written in time. But soon after this historical moment came a sudden legal enforcement. The judicial system of India passed a law which banned anyone from entering a 3-mile radius of the North Sentinel Island. But why now, when the wall has already been demolished? The great Andamanese tribe was wiped out 99% since the British colonized their territory. Since the aborigines of the North Sentinel Island had started establishing a proper contact with us, it would put them at a similar risk like the great Andamanese tribe. So, the government of India could not take any more risks in order to protect them. Everyone decided not to violate the new law of not entering the island and let the Sentinelese tribes live a happy and peaceful life away from new diseases, encroachers and poachers. Thus, the island remained banned from tourists and researchers until the new government passed a law that doesn't ban any tourist operations on the island. But to visit the North Sentinel Island, you will need to clear other barriers and restrictions which hasn't encouraged anyone to legally break the no-entry barrier previously imposed. So, the island effectively still remains banned. Now you might ask, they need help from us, they are so primitive, we can save them. Trust me, they don't. They have been living without any help from the technologically progressing world for 60,000 years. They efficiently managed to save themselves from the devastating tsunami in 2004. They moved to a higher ground before the event, while half of the world remained crippled from the monstrous waves. The last census, taken from a 1.5-mile radius by the Coast Guard and drone images, couldn't appropriately verify the population. It could be anywhere between 50 to 250 people living peacefully on the island in spite of being banned. So friends, if you have liked our content, please like, share and subscribe to our channel. Do not forget to click on the bell icon and get notified for our upcoming videos. Help us grow and also keep growing by listening to such factual stories. For facts are nothing but stories of reality. Adios.